All right. What's up, guys? We are going into a semi-final match. We've got Clem in the top right, already skirmishing with his Reaper with MAXPAX in the bottom left. This is gonna be a good one. And do you know why? It's because these guys have a bit of a rivalry. And they go back and forth. Sometimes they bop each other. I feel like it's like MAXPAX destroys Clem one-sidedly. Clem destroys him once or twice one-sidedly. And then they have a really close back and forth match. And I'm hoping we're at that sweet spot in the middle right now, where it is the close back and forth match. The Adept already causing some problems, getting an SCV kill. The Reaper micro for Clem, though, is pretty insane. Able to hit and not be hit in return. He is proxying a starport on the other side. Does MAXPAX realize? Not quite sure. And no, the shields weren't able to regen then. Oh, he's going to lose it. Nice play by Clem. Gets the Reaper. Ooh, that's really good. One less unit at home. And there's only one Stalker, which means he's waiting for Warp Gate before going up past that. Oh, so greedy as MAXPAX here. I mean, it's a very smooth opening, but I'm telling you, against a 4 Hellion drop, which is going to be coming into the natural and then picking up and scooting into the main base, this could get very nasty very quickly, especially because if you look at his vision, he's not going to see it until they actually enter here. There's actually a little bit of an area where he won't see it necessarily. Hellions will be darting out, down across the map, and now Third Nexus and Pylon maybe spots this coming. Now keep in mind, there's a lot weighing on this. 400 minerals, this delays your extra barracks, building those 4 Hellions, your starport has to float all the way home after this. It is a little hard to deal with, but look at that, the Reaper's setting up for this quite well. Honestly, his Hellions could have just dived in the front, guys. He didn't even need to pick him up. He could have literally just ran in there. Oh my god, MAXPAX, he's gonna have to scramble. And you know what, he does scramble pretty well, but oh my god, they're so clumped. They're so clumped. Oh, Clem. Clem. Oh my god. This is a game ending. 17 probes. That is absolutely massive. Oh my lord. Big thank you everybody who's supporting there in the chat. We've got a hype train going. If you guys are watching live, please consider hitting that up. If you guys are watching on YouTube, want to go above and beyond to support, please do consider checking out the Patreon down below. If you're watching on YouTube, spoiler alert, it means this is going to be a pretty fun series usually. That's usually what it means. We try to put the most delectable treats up for you guys. Then again, this has already started off pretty fun. I think for now, the big question is how does MAXPAX fight back from behind? And I think the way he does it is chrono boosting his probes. He's chronoing charge right now, which is not important. But he's making probes, you can see, yeah, he's chronoing probes, he's making probes, and he's got to stay very low on gas and play a mineral-heavy start to try and have enough zealots to deal with Clem's push. The problem with that is, of course, the fact that Clem is pretty darn good. He's already got the Hellions here, pinning Stalkers in the back, so you've got next to no map control. I mean, how do you get enough units up to deal with him? And if you're stuck on just Mass Zealot, I think you need to go build a gateway out here. Maybe build a gateway up here as well. Start doing those Zest proxy gates. Something I've been a big fan of for a long time. Already going up to 6 gateways is MAXPAX. He's trying to probe that third base. He does need to rally over there. You can see 16 workers rallied. 16 workers rallied. So he's just rallying everything to the third. And after a few more guys, we're going to see him go for that. Now, he sees a third command center go down. So Clem's not necessarily crazy committed to the push. One more chrono into charge nonetheless. And he's going to have to send his Stalkers forward. Yeah, he's leaving 2 Stalkers there. He's going to have to send these Stalkers forward to try and pick off these Marines. The Hellions just threatening, and the fact that he's had to be quite greedy on the gateways and the charge and the probes means he wasn't able to get these Stalkers forward, but nonetheless moves forward, gets 3 Marines there for just a few hit points. He has a well-placed shield battery. He's going to heal himself up. Clem just going to take position, and this is what we call a, I'm not actually ready to push you, but I'm already scaring you and forcing you to react. Oh no, we get supply blocked. MAXPAX chucks a pig. So distracted by microing his Stalkers that he goes to warp in Zealots off his first 6 gateways, and he can't even do it, and that means he might float money here. He might get a bit of a Zest bank, because he's only got 6 gateways with 3 more finishing, so he's gone up to like 9, maybe 10 gateways. It should be enough if he has at least 9. 10 gateways definitely is going to be optimal when you're just playing Zealots and Stalkers. Only loses 1 Zealot there. That was a good trade for MAXPAX, but he uses up all of his force fields. Zealot on the third does clean up the SCV there, doing a pretty good job. Widowmines will take care of him. Stalker's blinking back. He's trying to use that battery overcharge as best he can. Good spready on the Zealots, but still takes some damage nonetheless. The battery overcharge is being used for everything it's worth here. MAXPAX leeching all the value, but as I said, he's got a little bit of bank there. That's because those pylons were delayed, and he missed a few warp-ins. The tank is going to finally get taken out, though, and I gotta say, not too bad for MAXPAX. The bio still stimming, stutter stepping. but out of medevac healing for now. The rest of the army will have to come across. The medevacs there hanging on out. +1 upgrade is coming in. The problem, of course, is that was not the crushing fight that you really want. When you're behind, you want to be able to just massively overwhelm, crush a fight, and that's where you get your efficiency from. Because Clem's just rallying Widow Mines now, I think it's a checkmate. He's going to try to go for a big Zealot run by, hopefully catch Clem unprepared, but that means you're defending with so few units. Clem's going to be, emboldened by this. Pushes in, he's like, where are all your Zealots? I know you're doing a run by. So Clem gets the information on the run by, takes really good aggressive fights because he knows about this, and he leaves a very defensive rally at home because he knows that's coming. And that's why I think those Zealots probably needed to come in more as a flank behind this army once Clem got in there. But so much easier for me to say that than, of course, for MAXPAX to figure that out on the fly. The Stalkers and the Sentries trying to damage the medevacs, but there's so little anti-air. The Hellion medevac still has not been F2'd. Can you believe it? Still has not been F2'd in. Psystorm is on the way. MAXPAX says, I'm going to need some more comeback tech in this game, man. I'm only on 2 gas, but yeah, let's try and make Psystorm. That's definitely not going to work unless he drops 2 gases right now. I guess he actually, no, he's already warped in 3 High Templar, so maybe the Zealots are threatening. Guys, if MAXPAX drags his ass back into this game, I will be impressed. Clem not going to give him the time. Clem is not going to give him the time. Clem's going to dive into the natural. Storm not quite ready. The Widow Mines are in prime position. MAXPAX tries to do a bit of a hold position spready, but that was not Raynor or Cyril Zergling hold position spready. That was your mum and dad's bashing the keyboard while trying to play Street Fighter. That's what that was. That was not MAXPAX's best one. Does do a very sexy Storm there. I do like that Storm. And he gets the Reddit point medevac as well. Chad Gamer MAXPAX fighting from behind with some real skill and discipline. Looks like the Stalkers did clean up the Hellion drop in the back. 50 pros versus 61 SCVs though. And Clem, after that early Hellion drop, man, just catching out a very greedy MAXPAX who really didn't show any respect to this build. We're going to have to rewind at the end of this game really quickly and check why was he so low on gateway units. Because if he just built a couple more gateway units, he would have been safe first this, but it felt like he didn't respect the reactor on the factory. Maybe didn't know about it. Prism barely survives the Cyclone there. Clem forcing so many awkward engagements out of MAXPAX, and he knows it's done. Has to tap out. Oh, he didn't scout. He didn't scout the reactor. Lazy scouting for MAXPAX, guys. Rough game 1 there for MAXPAX, who did not check the reactor on the factory. I went back and checked the replay, guys. Normally the Adept goes up, and if there's the barracks on the reactor, you know, it's a pretty normal build. But if there's a factory on that, they can be doing a really early Widow Mine or Hellion drop, and you've got to be just extra careful. But MAXPAX was lazy on his scouting, lost his Adept, and just didn't have the unit count that he should have had for defending Clem's build order. So MAXPAX a bit greedy in the last game, got called out. Clem is saying, let's follow up aggression with more aggression. Gonna proxy his barracks very close to Clem's base, to MAXPAX's base. That's pretty damn nice. I mean, that was basically game over from the start. And it's one of these things where there is mind games that get played where sometimes players just play a bit greedy. And there are times where if Terrans don't do builds like that last one, you can actually just be greedy by default. Every game is the Protoss in MAXPAX shoes. Nexus before Cybercore. Sometimes you can even just skip probe scouting. Like, I've actually had periods on the ladder where I don't probe scout because I felt like none of the Terrans were actually doing anything heavily aggressive enough to really punish me. So mixing in builds like what Clem just did in the last one, it's very necessary to force the Protoss players to be honest. And usually the default kind of situation we get in this matchup as this bunker goes down is the Protoss trying to be greedy to the last minute and then just barely defend and then get way ahead and kind of explode out of control, their supply, their production, all that stuff. And the Terran player is trying to like attack and upset them basically. Now this probe is trying to delay this bunker, but the Zealot is not there on time, so there is no way he gets that SCV down. I don't think, nah, no way. Unless the SCV happens to float to the top right now. Oh, no, he's fine, he's fine. So the SCV can pop out there, of course. He's one shot from death. And there's already a Stalker on the way. Now, what MAXPAX likes to do here, you can see, no Warp Gate. He likes to go 2 to 3 Stalkers and a Stargate into usually, well, it kind of varies. I would have said straight Phoenix. That's what he used to do from here. He might go Oracle into Phoenix. I feel like straight Phoenix is the way to play it because your Stargate's pretty late. It's about 20 seconds later than when you'd normally build it. So definitely something you want to do. Has to drop a battery on the low ground and got to be careful with that Zealot. You can see there the Reapers are trying to get some damage on the actual shield battery itself. And, ooh, SCV dodges that Stalker's shot. Nicely done here. Now MAXPAX is going to try to deal with it. Finally gets rid of that SCV. You can see he's blocking the Marine from getting inside, but not able to do it. And, oh man, this is really irritating. So, battery overcharge is going to have to come on in here to defend this. He's out of energy. There we go. And that's exactly what Clem wanted to do. He's like, that's one less chrono boost, which means one less probe, just by forcing you to use the 50 energy on that. The Reapers do micro around a little derpily, and it is indeed straight into Phoenix behind this. So Barracks has to float home. These Reapers, you really want to keep them alive, because if you lose those, you have no fighting units right now. And you can see there's 2 SCVs chasing after this probe. But MAXPAX probe, he says, see, you don't want to be, you dickhead. Actually, nah, I will come back in. I want to scout what your follow-up is. I don't want to just leave it there. Alright, the Widowmine's there as well. We've got the Phoenix coming on out. Now, MAXPAX probing on up. He's on 34 versus 26 workers. That seems pretty good, right? It's like, hey, you're up like 9 workers. This is where things even out, though. Right? The Reapers clear up the probe, first of all. The Phoenix catches this drop. Oh, MAXPAX! Oh, yeah, okay. Now, I was going to say, because if you can get some pressure in there right now, Protoss player's going to have trouble dealing with it, but I like the way he picks up all but one. Now, the Phoenix, of course, can pick up those Reapers as well. Is he going to take one to the face? No, he's looking for the rest of the drop, and he's like, oh, where'd it go? But Clem's actually sent them home defensive, those Widowmines, forced to play to the next step, and now, indeed, that healthy worker advantage will be allowed to work its magic. On the other hand, keep in mind that MAXPAX has delayed his progression to the next stage of the game. Yes, he has a third at a good time, but he's only now getting a second and third gateway. He's no Twilight, no Robo, and he's only on 2 gases. So by investing all your early gas in these Phoenix, yes, you get control, you dissuade him from committing to his Widowmine drop, which is nice, but you're getting to blink. It's miles behind. You're getting to charge miles behind. Colossus. All of these things you want in a longer game are delayed. So there is a cost for everything. And because Clem hasn't thrown away any units, his Reapers are now going down. Shame he didn't pull that one back. But it's one of these things where it's like, hey, you haven't actually taken too much damage as Clem. You only built 1 Viking Cyclone. You're into stim, shields, lots of Marines. The only problem is that this reactor's so late, so his Marine production's still very small. But as he's adding engineering bay, depots, infrastructure, gases, I think it's completely fine because he doesn't really have that many minerals while he's getting set up in this phase. He's still finishing off the saturation on this natural expansion and kind of working forwards. Now, charge and +1 come in, so MAXPAX's going to play a style that he's not known for. Phoenix charge, he does not have anywhere near as much experience as Neeb, as Showtime. Zest sometimes plays this as well. You don't see it from MAXPAX nearly as much, but he's still an expert player. He definitely can do it. You can see the Widowmine did get a shot off. That Phoenix survives with just 20 hit points. They come out for their revenge now, looking for the ambush, but look at that micro from MAXPAX. Actually pulls the weak one back. Doesn't matter, still goes down though. The Marines are here. Viking pulls back, and I like the pull back and just repair your units up as Clem, I think is the way to do this. Just repair the Viking, keep shuffling these Widowmines out whenever you get a chance. Free Marine on the left side there. Does pick it up, and I think MAXPAX sees the units have pulled home, and that makes him feel pretty comfy. Third CC is on the way. Army still moving forward to posture, but guys, mass gateway. Charge is about to finish in 20 seconds, +1 in a minute. And going up to 8 gateway charge. There's going to be a lot of Zealots. Also up to 3 gases going on 4. There'll be Archons added in behind. Right now, there's not many units, but 2 rounds of Zealots, and this army gets absolutely jumped on and destroyed. And the thing is, there's no running away with Phoenix out of the map. They'll trap you. Oh, big Zealot run by as well. So Clem's trying to rally forward. Oh, no, bad pickup. Misclick there for Clem. Loses a few Marines. That Widowmine hits a Zealot that was already dead. Ooh, good hold for MAXPAX, and he dives in on the other side. MAXPAX fighting back in game 2. The Phoenix drag the Widowmines over the Marines, gun down the Medivacs. The rally is getting ransacked. The SCVs and Marines trying to defend, and they will be able to. He does do a nice drill there, surrounds them, but he's already lost 8 SCVs. MAXPAX on 62 workers. He defends this. Expect a Robo to go down any moment. Start Storm, a Robo, so he's going to go Storm Drop follow-up. I like it. Very nice way to play. Phoenix still roaming around. 4th base goes down. MAXPAX has so much control over this game, and Clem is kind of forced to all in. But you know what SCV pull all-ins don't do well against? It's Storm. They do so bad versus that, and there's not even a 4th and 5th barracks. They're just going down, so Clem's going to try and eke this one out in the long term. It's going to be a real tough ask to do that. He does not have an armory. And obviously there's no detection right now, except the cannon in the 3rd. No cannon in the main. We'll see. He's just going to burrow some Widow Mines over there. I think he's worried that he got spotted. So he thinks the Phoenix are coming. MAXPAX did not actually see him, though. Second Forge on the way. +1 armor is going to be finishing up in the near future, so upgrades are actually a little ahead for the Terran. They won't be for much longer. Army posturing around. Can't do much more than posture, though. And doesn't have many units at his rally either. Oof. 8 probes just went down. Sorry, guys, I missed that. Nice little dive there of the Widow Mines. They go in, and he hasn't A-moved his probes. MAXPAX, you got to A-move those probes to clean that up. Zealot does run in on the left side. These Zealots do spot a Marine, and then they do pull back. Zealot does get some damage, but Widow Mine's going to do all right here, cleaning that up. Trying to push on the front right now. Way too ambitious. Get out of there, Clem. Clem does need to pull on back. The Widow Mines did get cleaned up in the main. He left it a little bit long. I was a bit worried, but MAXPAX did eventually clean that up. The Phoenix are going around that side. More Widow Mine drops like that are definitely a way back into the game. Oh, he's doing the Zerg spready there, the hold position. And just pulls out those units that are being tracked on. Drop through the middle. Is going to dive into the Phoenix. Oh, no. Clem, a desperate move. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. You might be like, why'd he do that? That's so dumb. When you're this far behind, you need to make some desperate plays. And he said, hey, maybe I just sneak over to the left, snipe the 4th base or some probes, and get myself back into this game while being greedy behind it. Obviously, it fails, and it ends up just being him kind of putting the game over the finish line for MAXPAX. You're like, oh, what a punt. But it's like, dude, he was already 99% of the way there. He just, he took a high risk, high reward move. Didn't quite work out. It is what it is. Now, the armory is still not being built. Ghost trying to come out. Bio coming out. Handful of Marine Marauder is not enough to deal with that army, especially not with the Storm Drop about to cleave through this Terran force. Nice EMP on the Phoenix, but there's still Storm here. Oh, those storms were brutal. MAXPAX ties up the series 1-1. All right, guys, he didn't scout, and he's getting eBay blocked. Oh, no. MAXPAX comes down. He's getting eBay blocked in game 3 and immediately heads to his 3rd base because, guys, he was going blind Nexus before Cybercore. Oh, and now he has to take it on his 3rd base. Now, you could play Stargate from here. I think playing straight to Blink is probably the best way to do it. The problem is, Clem's got a really quick factory. So he can go for really quick. Widow Mine drop, Hellion dives, and if you're going straight to Twilight, there's a big interim. So the initial defense stage, Stargate is so much better for defending these 2 bases that are so far apart. But after that, it's so much better to have Twilight. It's so much better. It is actually just like miles better to have Blink Stalkers that you can actually control the map with and fight mobilely on the map. We'll have to see, though, what's he got in store. No Warp Gate. He's going to play the Stargate. So MAXPAX feels like he's got to play the Stargate. Maybe Oracles is the way to go here. A good offense, you know, that's the best. The best defense is a good offense, right? Going to have a 2-minute 20 commence and it go down. So it's kind of like a TvT style opening after that eBay block, but of course only with 1 gas. So I do really like this build order from Clem. Gets the eBay block, goes for the quick factory while skipping the Reaper. And looks like you might just go Marine Cyclone Pressure, which is, of course, going to be very hard for MAXPAX to defend because you can hit the 3rd or you can go into the main base. And indeed, that's exactly what it is. Adept is coming across the map. There's going to be 3 Marines ready to greet it, though. And already Stalker building as well. Warp Gate is on the way. Stargate is, of course, well past started there. Almost finished already. The Marines do tickle the Adept. They shoot her just once. The Adept's going to come on in. Doesn't see anything. MAXPAX Adept scouting's been a little lackluster in my opinion. But I think he's prioritizing not getting caught. He probably knows that it's usually a Cyclone here, actually. So, yeah, if you push with Marines and then maybe you get picked up by the Phoenix and they just kill you in range of the battery, losing the Cyclone would be huge. He's got a 2nd Cyclone and a 2nd Barracks on the way. Clem, he's doing a build, guys. He is doing a build, and MAXPAX is going to really just try and play a solid defensive build, but his 3rd base is his natural. It's such an awkward position. Phoenix is there, though, and good pullback by Clem. He does not want to get picked up and punished. He wants to fight over here away from the battery. So if he can maybe push into the main, it's a bit dangerous, but he can at least catch like rallying probes and stuff like that. Obviously, he doesn't want to go too deep. It's dangerous what he's doing right now, and he does get a probe. Nicely done. Notice he target fired it, so his Cyclone didn't use its lock as well. And Phoenix does take a bit of damage, as does the Adept. The battery doing some good healing, though. Oh, dancing in and out. This is so pressure-filled for both guys. Can't throw these units away as Clem. Now, Clem's got a second Cyclone out and a third one on the way. He's doing lots of Marines and Cyclones right now. Wow. Okay, nice lock on here. It's going to lock onto 2 different units with those Cyclones really draining the energy. That means there's no healing. I mean, obviously you've got battery overcharge, but if there's no healing other than the overcharge, you can maybe force him to throw that out a bit early. Oh, the Phoenix are coming forward. Clem respects it, pulls back. Oh man, this is. I think MAXPAX might be able to jump on him soon. MAXPAX has got second and third gateway coming up soon. If he can just pick you up just here on the edge where all the Protoss units are getting healed in the fight, that's huge. But notice Clem is like, dude, if you commit to this, you're going to be fighting just outside of battery range. Phoenix does take some damage, but not that much. Oh, probe does go down. Battery overcharge activates. Kind of forced to there. But he's picked off a total of 3 probes. Now the Phoenix are going to go around for a moment. There's an Immortal almost out. MAXPAX managing this defense so well, but he is, of course, supply blocked on 70. Behind this, we've got the 3-Racks factory. He's even rallying tanks now. I wouldn't mind a few SCVs coming across. Build some bunkers. Why not, bro? You don't have a starport. You know, you're pretty committed to this push. Might as well keep it going. The problem is Phoenix wreck tanks, Immortals wreck Cyclones and tanks, and it looks like Clem is going to fall back, at least momentarily, and kind of say, look, don't risk fighting over there at all. No, man, he's too deep. He's too deep. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful, of course. Lock-ons on the Immortal can be massive. But, dude, I think he's too deep. I actually think MAXPAX is going to break this. This is still such a dicey situation for both players. Does get a nice tank shot off. It's not quite in range of the battery, of course. The Phoenix count is incredible. 6 Phoenixes, a Colossus almost out. If that Colossus pops, I mean, Clem's position is just screwed. His Marines will take like 2 hits from this Colossus and he's dead. This is actually such a scary position for both guys, but I think MAXPAX has held on. His battery overcharge is ready. He activates it. He goes forward. The Phoenix, the Zealot's coming on fourth. The Stim is there. There's no shields just yet, though. And the Phoenix with the lifts on all the Cyclones and the tanks, but there's just enough units there. And Clem getting overwhelmed. And this push just fantastically held. And this was just textbook by MAXPAX. He is now clearly in the lead. He starts at third base. He's got a Colossus. He's got massive Phoenix control. Third command center only now starts, and that's pretty much game over. And I really do think if you're doing that push as Clem, you need to either commit harder or you need to back off at a certain point and be going into Medevacs and going into the next step. Guys, he's going 5-Rex. He does have a starport with a reactor now. But, I mean, this is just such a bad position. And we saw there what happens when the Protoss just measures their defense perfectly. Yes, he kept making Phoenix. Yes, he kept microing, made Zealots, made Stalkers, but he also got a Robo out and an Immortal and a Colossus in the midst of the fight. And that there is something not many Protoss players can do. All right, guys, a reminder, friendly reminder, no whining in chat. No batteries are bullshit. That's bullshit. That's fun. That's what we call balance whining. No balance whining in the chat, guys. No taking it away from the players. And if you want to do it, I get it. It's a slippery slope. The more people we have in here, the more we have to remind people no balance whining. Because otherwise, the chat just ends up being people complaining about shit all time. And anyone who's ever watched a big tournament, especially the YouTube chat experience for like GSL, it's just pure cancer, man. I think it's good to complain about things and then use that as kind of, oh, nice dive, as fuel to try and get in there and figure out how to get better or how to deal with that problem point in the game. But it's something which you should do in your own little Discord chat with your clan mates, maybe with a couple practice partners or friends you play with. Not in my Twitch channel, so appreciate it, guys. That is the rule. Now, right now, Clem's going to try and recover with tanks, but notice the tanks are out in the open. The Immortal, oh man, the Phoenix lifts. But actually, if he can focus the Phoenix down, oh yeah, because there's no Zealots there. Can't chase into the Colossus though. You know what, good hold by Clem. Can Clem fight back into this? Obviously, he's Clem. He's always got a chance to do that. Charge is now on the way though, so we're going to be adding ground units, and I think MAXPAX can take a fourth. He's got a very good work account. He's got a very good work account. So much control here, and the fact that the Phoenix is still alive, I got to give it to Clem. These 2 turrets on the edges are really stopping the Phoenix from getting much damage. I do think the Phoenix should have gone in the main and picked off some more workers and dived in over the production and picked off more units rallying out. Because look at how much energy they have. I do think the power of surviving a push like that with so many Phoenix alive, it really gives you the ability to just keep chipping away at your opponent. You see exactly when and where their push is coming from. And that's what makes things nasty. Now, there's 6 siege tanks up, so that's a good tank count. It's a very immobile army, though, which is why we're seeing mass gateway, and he's going to see mass zealots and archons, because they do not care about siege tanks, which means you're going to need enough bio and preferably EMPs as Clem to deal with the zealot archon. The zealot archon kind of count as your tanks. You add EMPs, that count as the archon super hard. Knocks about 1/3 of the hit points off the zealots, really helps out a lot as well. So this is kind of the back and forth, and that's why Clem is just turtling, building a 4th, because he's like, nah, I don't want to push. If I push, you've added 4 or 5 archons, 25 zealots to your Colossus Phoenix, I'm going to get wiped so super hard. So he's just defending and turtling up. MAXPAX is setting up his drop, but there's a pack of Marines ready for it. This is looking like it's going to go to the late game. Now, MAXPAX in the previous round struggled very hard up against some late game Terran defense. I'm not going to spoil who that was against, but yeah, for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but definitely a very fun match there. And MAXPAX was struggling against late game like tank, liberator, ghost, turtle, and Clem, he's going late game, ghost, lib, tank, turtle. I think this is definitely a scenario he's been getting better at recently. He's really been learning how to play it very well. He's building sensor towers as well. See what's coming in. Few turrets on the left side. If a prism comes in, it could dive past this one, but with the Marines there's no way. Maxi taxi, maxi taxi, maxi taxi. Nope, he's watching it. No more maxi taxi. I made fun of MAXPAX a lot about throwing that warp prism away and not looking at it. He doesn't do it anymore. Pull back command center. There's no way. I don't think you can secure this base right now, but actually Clem just inches the tanks forward, doesn't panic. MAXPAX respects it. Planetary does start to erect itself there. 2-2 upgrades on the way. It's still only single forge upgrading for MAXPAX. Second forge is ready to go, so he definitely needs to power those upgrades up. He's got DT Shrine, double Robo Disruptor coming out of that 3rd base. Even more gateways coming in, so he's gone up to 12 gateways is MAXPAX. And he's, of course, got Pylon Zealots. Not to mention this one pervy boy up the guts. Clem does not see this guy. Just perving over him. That's what Clem would see if he zooms in on it. Ooh, okay, gonna try and drop around the turrets inside the main base, but that turret will take it out. Is there enough units at the front? I think the tank line plus the Vikings does scare back MAXPAX. MAXPAX cannot get in there. MAXPAX is probably gonna have to wait for him to take a 5th base. If he sends a prism in again, it should be down the right flank. I've been talking a lot about how every single Protoss always attacks from this side. So the later it goes in the game, you should actually always send your prism down here because people almost never zone out this flank with turrets. So you can come in the back of the natural, sometimes there, sometimes into the back of the main from that right side. It's just something where there's like a pattern where it's like you almost always go for the more direct route towards the main. And as a result, players are never ready for the other side. And that's why it's good. Ooh, EMP hits only one of the Archons and a few Zealots there. So Clem's got a real scary army. 7 tanks, 6 Vikings. But it's going to be hard to get across the map. Now, as MAXPAX, I'd be trying to split all my Zealots for run-bys right now, because he's still on a heavy Zealot Archon army. Big Disruptor Ball, though, gets 10 bio units. Very nicely done. As I said, he should split all of his Zealots down the right side to do a bit of a run-by. I think that's the best bet, because you're not really wanting to engage Clem's army head-on. You're wanting to just kind of split up, do run-bys, and transition into a few more Disruptors, more Dark Templar, so you have even more impactful backstabs, and also try to get into Tempests, potentially, to pick off these, well, right now there's Vikings, but in case Liberators come in. You can always build Carriers as well, if you choose to. Okay, we've still got good observer vision here for MAXPAX. Bio's going to stem to that left side. Disruptors come forward, don't really hit anything. Does scan that one down. Clem with a bit of an F2 there. Does pull back. He had Bio in position. Ghosts will take out these Zealots. Nicely done. Widow Mines are there on that left side. He doesn't have any tanks, though, behind it now. He lost that one tank that was anchoring the position. The Ghosts get annihilated there. Oh, but he's doing big reactive spreadies. His Clem has MAXPAX gone too deep. He sees an opportunity. He dives, and he's going to get punished. Clem is on top. There's still a lot of Zealots, and there's still 2 Colossus in the back. Disruptor shots landing, though, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a wash. Both sides losing many units, but as the Zealot reinforce comes in, and another good Disruptor shot, Clem may have chased too far. Vikings not going to be able to get the deal closed on that last Colossus. And remember, guys, we do have 8 barracks, so Clem can rebuild pretty quickly, but what What do we got? Let's check it out. 1, 2 reactors, 3 tech labs, another tech lab, another reactor, and I don't know where his 8th barracks is. Probably in the main base somewhere, and I just missed it. Liberators are coming out now. We don't have a fusion core yet. No advanced ballistics. This is a very small army for Clem. Doesn't have any tanks over here. They're all on the right side. Clem, a bit too slow to move tanks over. I mean, it's so long since this push started, and he just doesn't bring tanks. Somehow he keeps his command center alive. And the Vikings do defend. Of course, he's got a planetary on that as well. Planetaries, turrets. He's got to keep these tanks spread. I actually think it's kind of funny, but Raynor with his off race was doing a bit of a better job of keeping his tanks spread. Clem, it feels like, wants to bring all of his tanks into one area and siege them up, and that's just not the best way to use a siege unit like that. Oh, the DTs get Clem's planetary. Max Pax here. Oh, dude, that's huge. Now, the bio will catch a few of those DTs, but you can see they're pretty quick to get out of there. The EMP decloak only lasts about, I think, 8 or 9 seconds, something like that. Losing control of these bases. Clem has not... He's moved every tank to the left. This is what I was talking about. He needs to be leaving his units split up a little bit more, but he's not. And oh! Big disruptors landing for MAXPAX. Clem is kind of doing that aggro Terran thing where he tries to just kind of shove on top of the Protoss army and split. But he's got to be a little bit more methodical. He's got to stop F2ing here, and he's got to keep those units split. Oh, the double disruptor gets the tanks. Very nice plays by MAXPAX, who is picking off the disruptors. He's picking off everything with those disruptor shots. He's going to try and commit in here. That might be a bit too deep, but Clem just doesn't have the numbers. Clem's got to stop going in. These Vikings are terrible for this situation. He's overcommitted to Vikings, and no Colossus got rebuilt by MAXPAX. MAXPAX winning the tech switch war. Meanwhile, oh, mass Zealot DT warping in the main. DTs to the right side do go down, but there's Zealot DT on the production. The army on the right still causing problems, and his tanks. Where are his tanks? They never moved over here, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Clem having some big F2 problems, I feel. MAXPAX just forcing him to react and playing him like a fiddle. Feels like Clem here just a little bit too F2 heavy, not keeping his units split up, not using his control groups quite as well as he maybe should have. And you can see that because of that, MAXPAX has found massive ways in to do damage. And this is a winning trade. Doesn't matter if you lose a lot of units as the Protoss. You can be down 1,000 resources. You're mining uninterrupted. Full base, full base, full base, full base. You're taking a new base in the middle of the map, and you can remax. You've got the bank. So really great play by MAXPAX. And I got to say, some uncharacteristic screw-ups for Clem, who you can see the way he's running his bio ball. Where are his siege tanks? He's got 3 tanks. How has he not split them back up across these bases? I got to be critical, guys, because he's using siege tanks, a siege tank focused army, as if it is a biomine army. And that is just a biomine ghost army. He's using landed Vikings and tanks that way. It's just not the way to do it. So I do think we can be critical here of Clem. Not his finest late game. And look how easy it is. Just the way Clem's fighting. Why are these tanks not sieging? This is uncharacteristic, and I've seen Clem play much better PvT. MAXPAX, I think, is a little surprised by how easily he's landing these disruptor shots and kind of baiting Clem into the bad fights. MAXPAX, of course, doing everything correctly, but he's just meeting, I think, softer resistance than he would have expected. Finally, the tanks siege up. They just get jumped on, and the DTs blink away, dodging the AMPs. Nicely done. Clem still has money. He still has army. He has 3-3. He has +2 ship weapons. I mean, he's got enough of a setup. There's a dream. There is hopes here. But he just can't let any more of these disruptor shots land on his army. Zealots on the left side as well. Got the bio getting over there. We've got the observer on that right side. MAXPAX still has the huge information advantage. This pervy boy observer is just radioing home. He's like, dude, he's moving out now. He's leaving home. Clem has a decent army here, but he can't force it. Oh my god! Oh no! Clem! Too busy sieging his libs, eating the disruptor shots, and I'll tell you what, mate, when you do eat a Danish prince's balls, things do not go well, man. You're usually in a dark corner of the internet. Things are not going well. MAXPAX just destroying, just playing so darned well. Attacking from all sides, picking him apart, and Clem not using his siege tanks correctly. He really needed to... The first time that attack came on the left and he only lost 1 tank, he could have just unsieged 2 tanks, moved them over there, and his whole life would have been so much easier. But we've seen a lot of F2, a lot of select all the tanks and unsiege them or siege them. And he does finally get to stim forward and kick MAXPAX in the nuts there. Does take out like 6 disruptors without letting the balls actually connect or fire. But yeah, that's still going to be a massive triple disruptor rebuild. MAXPAX is chronoing it. Yeah, you're going to chase down some Immortals, but there's DTs running in. Oh, Libs actually do okay. He goes past, starts to take down the SCVs and the turrets. Now, Clem is going to deny this base on the right side. MAXPAX could just go around and hit the rally, though. No need to fight this army head-on. He's going to try to. Crazy fight for MAXPAX. There's no need to defend this base. The Zealots... Oh, the DTs do get AMP'd, so the Marines will do okay. Nice scan, kills most of them. And the Zealot DT can just go in. It's only orbital command centers. They are pretty much undefended. 37 SCVs to 85 probes, and MAXPAX says, balls! Clem! Balls! Marauder does go down. Zealot's coming on in. Definitely does feel like, you know, I think we've seen some bad habits slip into Clem's play recently. I do feel like, compared to when he was overwhelming everyone mechanically, something's happened mechanically with how he's using his control groups and his F2. Obviously everyone's always getting better, but it does feel like when Clem's on the back foot or in the defense, he's not necessarily taking the right fights anymore, and it's happened a lot recently. So I'm really curious to see if something's gone wrong with his mechanical habits. Sometimes even a very excellent player can let some really weird kind of habits with how they use their army slip into their play, and I feel like that's happened here, because as much as MAXPAX played like a god here, and I'm really impressed, at the same time, we've got to look at, remember that first attack on the left side, and this was such a good setup for Clem. He's moving out, he's got so many tanks, just keep him spread across your bases. Already, these tanks are a little bit more spread than I'd like them, and you can see Clem wants to just push through the middle. He doesn't want to set up for the defense. But MAXPAX goes around the right side, and already it's like, cool, you know what he's doing, he's going to move there, and he's killed that tank. Grab 2 or 3 of these tanks, unsiege them, siege them here, right? But Clem's just like, no, I just want to run my army around and stim my Bio Ghost at it. And that's how you play Bio Mind Ghost. That's not how you play tanks. That is not how you play 80 plus SCVs, 78 SCVs. That's what you do when you've got a bigger army, smaller economy maybe, and you're really trying to force the fight. When you're going heavy tank, quick 4th, quick 5th, quick 6th command center, that's a different play style. So I feel like Clem here, even though he defended the first wave acceptably, yeah, he loses some ghosts. I mean, this was not the greatest trade for him because there were some great disruptor shots and just, you know, good pullback micro in general from MAXPAX. Definitely as the Zealots come in, this looks good. But he holds, he defends, and he's still got so much time to just grab a few tanks, siege him there. And that's it. Have tanks here, have tanks here. You're fine. But they're all sitting in one wedge. Even if 10 Zealots they moved in, they would kill all of his tanks for free right now. And Clem is still very focused on what? F2, guys. What's on control group 1? That's an F2. All of his tanks, all of his Vikings, all of his medevacs. You can see that he's not using control groups right now. He is F2ing. And just then, more units got added onto his control group. You know how? F2 control 1. So to me, it feels like Clem here, even if he's not using control groups, he's just putting F2 on control 1. I think what he should be doing is manually controlling things a little bit more, jumping around and boxing things. I think there's something really weird that's gone on with the kind of just unwillingness to adopt the defensive stance. And he got kind of crossed over between I'm the attacker and I'm the defender. He played like he was the attacker while on defense. That didn't make sense. And MAXPAX takes him down 2-1. Well played, MAXPAX.